Hey y'all. So in this broke Wednesday, I reposted it and the full article with all the details is finally coming through my feed. And so I feel like it still deserves to be talked about because I don't think what was mentioned and the things that I reposted were some of what is in this article, with it being multiple people in this in this that that abused this girl. Okay, let's get into it. A former Massachusetts police detective accused of strangling a woman who had recently told him she was pregnant with his child and then staging the scene to appear as a suicide has been charged in her 2021 death. They allege that Matthew Farwell unalived Sandra Birchmore years after he began grooming and SAing her as a youth in the Salton Police Explorers Academy. Farwell was an instructor in the program designed to foster an interest in police work and worked for the Salton Police Department from 2012 to 2022. Farwell, now 38, began essaying her, not having with her, when she was 15 while on duty. That's what he said. She survived years of grooming, statutory rape, and then violence, all at the hands of Matthew Farwell. Farwell befriended her, contacted her online, and went to the library with her before he began committing the statutory. Prosecutors said Farwell unalived Birchmore, 23, on February 1st in her Canton, Massachusetts apartment when he could no longer control her and as word began to get out that he had been having with her for years. He allegedly silenced her permanently. Authorities initially ruled Birchmore's death as a Farwell has been charged with one count of unaliving a witness or victim. The FBI arrested him in Revere, Massachusetts on Wednesday. A lawyer for Farwell did not immediately respond to a request for comment. In October 2020, Birchmore told Farwell she wanted to have a baby, and he agreed to try and impregnate her if she stayed silent about his past behavior and their relationship, according to a motion prosecutors filed arguing for pretrial detention. Birchmore wanted to have a child and was excited about her pregnancy, but Farwell was not, and his behavior grew more erratic and dangerous. Birchmore told Farwell the child was his and began asking him about doctor's appointments, ultrasounds, and what information would be on the birth certificate. A month before Birchmore was unalived, one of her friends told Salton police that Farwell had been having with Birchmore, the indictment said. Mr. Farwell was losing control in late 2020, early 2021, and the information that Sandra Birchmore possessed about his illegal conduct was in danger of slipping out. In fact, word started to get out about their relationship less than 2 weeks before she was found unalive. After the friend came forward, 6'4" Farwell allegedly became violent with 4'10" Birchmore. He pushed her and put her in a chokehold. Prosecutors said Farwell unalived Birchmore hours before his wife delivered their third child. Birchmore was as a blizzard approached the Boston region, which prosecutors said would give Farwell cover for Birchmore's absence from work for days. Farwell concealed evidence in Birchmore's death, according to prosecutors, by telling her to delete evidence on her phone that they had before she was 16, repositioning her lifeless body and staging her apartment to look like the scene of the motion said. He also lied to detectives, like it would have mattered. He probably could have told them the truth. They're his buddies. He also lied to detectives with the Massachusetts State Police, the agency that initially investigated Birchmore's death, by telling investigators their relationship began in 2020, not 7 years earlier, and by saying he had only had with her a few times. He also allowed only limited consent. How do you only allow? You can only search this part of my phone to search his cell phone. That's crazy. Birchmore's alleged essay as part of the Police Explorers Club was included in a Marshall Project investigation published in partnership with NBC News in May about abuse allegations and law enforcement explorer posts across the country. The program, created by the Boy Scouts of America, aims to teach teens and young adults about policing. This is so much bigger The news of Farwell's arrest comes 2 years after Salton's police chief announced that Farwell and 2 other former officers at the agency, including Farwell's twin brother William, had inappropriate relationships with Birchmore, meaning they had SA'd her too. William Farwell has denied the allegations. That conclusion came from a lengthy internal affairs investigation prompted by Birchmore's death, said Chief Donna McNamara, who called the former officer's behavior deeply disturbing. Through a sustained and deliberate combination of lies, deceit, and treachery, they violated the policies and core values of the Stoughton Police Department. Not to mention, yes, the human decency part, yes, but the police, not. I mean, the sad part is not being surprised. McNamara said the Farwell brothers began as youth participants in the Explorers Club under Robert Devine, the third former officer accused of having had an inappropriate relationship with Birchmore. Why do they keep calling it that? It's not a relationship. Devine has denied the allegations. Devine, a former deputy chief at Stoughton Police Department, has transformed the Explorers program from a scouting club into a paramilitary group that taught aspects of policing to young people, McNamara said. Like Matthew Farwell, William Farwell was also an instructor in the program in the town about 25 miles south of Boston. Before Birchmore entered the Explorers Club as a young teenager, she had had a difficult childhood but developed a deep admiration for police, according to a wrongful death suit her family filed against the Farwell brothers and Devine in 2022. People with oaths and duties to protect and serve led her to form relationships with men who were willing to take advantage of her. McNamara said Matthew Farwell was 27 when he is alleged to have began essaying Birchmore when she was 15. The internal affairs investigation uncovered hundreds of messages and explicit exchanges between them that spanned years. The probe also showed that William Farwell introduced Birchmore to other men, she said. McNamara said all 3 men resigned before they could be interviewed. Asked about the other former officers Wednesday, Levy would not comment. The department recommended that their certifications as police officers be permanently revoked so that they cannot serve as law enforcement anywhere in the country. Absolutely. Lawyers for William Farwell and Devine did not immediately respond to requests for comment about the status of their decertifications. In a statement Wednesday, McNamara said it had been her priority for the last 3 years to ensure justice in the case. Sandra Birchmore received no justice during her life, she said. It is imperative that justice be served in her death, and today's actions appear to bring our society one step closer to justice. That poor girl, y'all. Don't forget to hit those buttons over there. I hope your day doesn't suck. Okay, love y'all. Bye.